Hope you get the lot, you dog. Get back on protecting your mate.
Might just join you by the bed there, mate. What's going on? Waiting for a mate. That way your car's all smashed up.
Can't wait for some of these snags. This is going to be good at.
Well, here we are. As I look around the room, I see there's a lot of testosterone, there's a lot of work boots all of a sudden. There's a lot of stuff going on, and our special guest who we've alluded to all week, Mark Wales, is here. But as I look to my left at Rick, I feel like there's an intro that needs to happen given the outfit he's donning at the moment.
It's just cut to it, can't beat around the bush. I'm a fanboy of this man. When it comes to Australian heroes, there's only a few of them in this modern world, and we have one sitting next to us right now. His name's Mark Wales. He's an SAS Commander. He did 10 tours in Afghanistan. SAS, for you guys at home that don't know, it's the Navy SEAL of Australia. It is a top echelon. I don't know what the percentages are to actually make it into the SAS. How slim is it, Mark?
It's about 60% pass rate now, mate.
No,
Back when I was in, it was fucking hard. 1%.
But to get to the stage of actually going for the Navy SEALs, like, it's ridiculous.
It gets hard, man. There's a lot of filters before you get to the starting gate.
Yep.
Yeah. So you got to hook in and work hard, and you got to need a lobotomy before you go in there, mate.
Well, mate, thanks for coming on.
Appreciate you being here. This is
good.
We were talking off air. I feel like I've been talking to you for the last 24 hours, listening to your books and going back over your podcast. It's a fascinating journey you've been on. It hasn't just been the military. It's gone in so many different directions, and bloody hell, where to start?
Yeah,
Can I take these off? I just felt like I looked like some Colombian fucking military African warlord.
I thought you were method acting. So just for the listeners at home who can't see this.
Yeah, no, I'm doing it.
Rick's
taking off the Oakley wraparounds.
You employ child soldiers.
Yeah, exactly. Totally.
You actually got to take that seriously because the man knows his stuff.
The hat's good, though.
So Rick's come in with this military camo hat on and the speed dealer sunnies and the boots on. He really looks the part.
I know, but I'm almost like that fake valor thing where you get free Maccas or whatever. You know, the people it's really frowned upon. I didn't want that to come across. But the thing with Mark, I mean, I've known you for a while, a few years, and I was telling your story to 28 here, and I just know what you've told me. It is quite inspiring. It's heroic. It's selfless. And through all that journey, you've come out, not only that, as a kind of a speaker for the younger generation, but to know what you've gone through, dude, I just wanted to introduce you to the 28 because I know we've got a lot to talk about.
Mate, it's good to be here. There was a lot of beef in the elevator coming up here at Star. Some big boys, so I'm excited.
In our studio here, just again, but for the people at home, that was quite funny. We're all reasonably big dudes, and we are actually genuinely all in work boots.
Next to you make me look like a glorified chess piece, dude. I'm 6'1", but this guy's 6'9", and every photo we get now, I just look like a little midge.
Well, I've started to Photoshop you just even smaller and smaller on each of these ones. But to your point, Rick, like again, honour to have you on. But I think to relate to some of the audience that we have who are just battlers like ourselves, we like to call ourselves that. But it's people who are just going through it, and maybe we've had our own mental health struggles. And I'm looking on this sheet here. I told you I spent the last bloody night just going everything you're saying. While it's at this most extreme sort of scenario, being in the SAS, but everything you've done. You can relate to things. I think I was talking about this constant state of feeling like you're in overwhelm, and that was the thing you had to come to terms with pretty early. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's just you constantly doing stuff you're not fully comfortable with, and you're getting it wrong all the time. Like it becomes a normal state of being in the military. And it probably took me 5 years to become, when I was in the regiment, probably about 5 years to be more comfortable as a soldier. But even then, you're still getting in situations where you're like, fuck, I'm beyond what I've encountered in most situations. Like everything was a bit of a step up. But it means you kind of if you do that just in increments over a long period of time, it's worth fucking heaps. So.
That's sort of where I was going to go with
Exactly.
it. How did you? Because I reckon I'm still working through that
But
myself.
this is after how many tours in Afghanistan?
I did 4 in Afghan.
Oh,
But I
no,
did
sorry,
like-
just in the Middle East in general.
Oh, Middle East. Fuck, it was a fair few tours. But it wasn't until I'd done some of the combat ones where you're like, okay, I know I know what's a bad situation now and I know how to avoid it. And if I'm in it, I think I know how to deal with it.
We all, I mean, from myself and 28, we can all remember watching it go down in the Middle East on TVs.
Yeah.
And it was, whether it was for the right reasons or not, you guys were there and you're put in that position. What was it like going there first time, boots on the ground?
It was weird, man, because even I would think, how's this actually set up? Where do you live and how do you do operations? But you fly into the Middle East, you land at a major base, and that's where all the operations and planning's done. And we'd launch out of that into Taliban areas. So they'd be like, all right, we're going out the gate. It's going to be a 48-hour mission. We're going to hit this area or secure it or whatever it was.
What's an example of a mission?
So in the early stages, we were doing longer duration. They go we're going to secure this valley, strategically important. Get in there, do the recon, hold that area. That'll take a week. And then later, a couple of years after that, we're doing strike, heavy targeting missions. We've got intelligence. We know that house has a high value target. Go on.
Is that an HVT?
Go and strike it. Yep, HVT. Yeah, high value target. Yep.
Wow.
So it evolved over time. What we started doing and what we finished doing were two different things.
And you come back and forth to Australia and then back again for more?
Yeah, we're just going back, in and out.
Wow.
There was that many. There was so much work and there were not enough people to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bloody hell. So I just,
Mate, it was
my
great,
hand
though.
just went like this and okay, story time. I'm in for this.
It kind of makes everything in pale in comparison, like our normal. Did you find your normal stresses at home pale in comparison of suddenly you're in the desert, you got a gun in your hand and there's people shooting at you? What goes through your mind when those
because it's like a parallel.
bullets
It's like a parallel universe. We live life in Australia. There's order and rules, and we have a functioning society. Mm-hmm. But when you land in a place like that, where it's just tribal, it's just there are basic laws and customs, but that's it. Everything else is survive as you can. So it was like a weird situation that you land there and you got to change the way you look at the world a bit. And you're like, they're threats, we're in danger the whole time. So I can just remember the early missions going, I think we'll be all right. And I didn't have experience of being in the green belt, what they call the green belt of Afghanistan, which is where the enemy is situated. Right. When you land in there, you were basically in their backyard straight away.
Right.
And in the early stages of Afghanistan, they were not so much in there. We were kind of sitting back a bit, in mountains and whatnot. But in our early tours, we got right in there. And so we were stuck in their backyard.
So did you sort of somewhat feel like sitting ducks as you?
Not sitting ducks, but you're not standing off now. You're kind of belt to belt,
Right?
Yeah, and we're going to be fighting at close range. We knew that. Yeah.
I was just again as you're talking, I'm thinking. Did you remember the first time when Rick was talking about? You almost you have to change into this other way of thinking, and you were even saying that you had to flick into a different way of looking at the world.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first time you really did that, or bullets were flying, and what went through your mind? I guess.
I remember doing peacekeeping in East Timor, and then it was kind of like you worked with the population, and it wasn't as much of a war zone. In Afghan, we got this job in. It was October 2007. It was now actually, but in 2007. And I remember him saying, we're going to re-secure this valley. It's called the Trura Valley. It had nicknames. It was like Hell's Half Pipe and a few, because it was a rough area.
It all sounds promising.
It's fucking
Hell's Half Pipe sounds like Tony Hawk skateboarding map.
My mate actually suggested that. My mate, whose nickname's a pirate, we need to set up a skate park.
What was your nickname, by the way?
A whaler.
That's a badass name.
Chewy or
what
whaler.
would mine be, by the way?
Dictator Rick.
Hyena?
Comrade.
Park bench.
Sorry, go ahead.
So, I remember we got flown into this valley and they're like, we're going to retake it. Go find, we were the advanced force. So go find out what's in there because we're going to be landing helicopters.
How many of you are there? Sorry.
There were 24. So the SAS troop.
Yep.
So we were about 24 plus a few extras.
Out of the whole of Australia.
That was just the unit that was in country.
Yeah, okay.
There's only like the SAS unit's only a few squadrons, which is only a couple of hundred people. It's not that big. It's not
so elite.
Yeah, it's like a couple of hundred operators, and then you've got support elements behind it. But yeah, we went to this valley. They're like, find out, we're going to be landing helicopters. They're going to be big, Chinooks, which are big aircraft. We don't want them shot down in the approach, so make sure there's no heavy weapons. Like all this, find out where the enemy are. But that's a classic kind of recon job. So we went in there. We'd be doing behind the lines, behind enemy lines stuff at night, walking in there during the day.
Night
we'd watch
vision?
them. Oh yeah,
Oh,
all
right.
night vision.
Does it actually make that bing? Because they're called nods. I play a lot of Counter-Strike.
We'd have to supplement with our own voices to do that. But fucking
Did you do that often under
and so yeah,
you're at night walking through cane fields or whatever. Are you shitting yourself?
We go into their territory. No, that's like the safest time to be out there. It's
Really?
like cover of darkness, using your night vision. Like we own that because we can see, we can hear everything. They can't see you. So it's like the best time to be out.
Have you trained so much at that point, heavily, I mean, for the SAS, that you're actually eager to be there rather than not wanting to be there?
It's the only place to be. Because you
Really?
spend your whole life training for it, and then you get this opportunity that you know is like a once in a generation.
Yeah.
The last time anyone was doing this was Vietnam.
Yeah, okay.
And for you, it was like from reading, it was like a childhood dream almost. Like,
Mate,
this is what you wanted to do.
No one gets to do it. It's rare that the unit gets sent on warlike operations like that.
Right.
Fucking never happens. So it was good. It was a real honor to actually be in that city. And I'm like, fuck, it's a big job because I was in charge of the troop and we're planning this mission. So we did the lead up to it. But the first morning the clearance started, we walked in that night and we knew it just before dawn, all the helicopters would land. Everything went pretty well, man. Got into position. Helicopters landed like 3 a.m., sent them on their sweep. And then the problem was it dragged on a bit. Like we were trying to get them moving and the Gurkhas are trying to go on. We're burning time. You're burning night time. So by the time it was dusk, I had my team on this river and I'm like, okay, we're not at our objective yet. We had to push like 2 Ks down the river to get to this ambush site. We're not there yet. It's daytime. It's a bit dangerous now because they can see us. Do you want to go down there or do we want to push back through the friendly positions? And we're like, I think we're good. I think we can push on. We're heavily armed. We had gunships overhead and snipers behind us. Let's push down the river. If we run into trouble, we'll be right.
Sounds pretty badass.
Rick and I, you can't see this.
No, take me back to the friendly zone, bro.
We're just looking at each other going,
Yeah, can we get an Uber out of here? Fucking. So we did that. And I remember and we were going down along this river and I'm just like, fuck, we're just a bit exposed. I could feel like we're a bit exposed.
Do you trust your instincts and gut at this stage or is it all brain?
Man, you're like, I'm not comfortable with this because it was daylight, there was high terrain, we're moving. I'm like, fuck, it's a little bit risky. And as we're pushing up, I remember seeing a cornfield. Well, across the river, it was like knee-deep river, crossing it was cornfield. I'm like, fuck. It was kind of weird because all the fields were ploughed.
right.
Yeah,
It's just one
big fucking cornfield. I'm like, fucking push up on that. Like, as we were crossing the river and we got onto this embankment near the cornfield, fucking gunshots out of the cornfield, like a big bunch of gump out of the corn.
So they're in the corn. You're not going to see them. Invisible enemy.
Can't see them. So, and what they've done is they've been in there with earth-moving gear and they dug trenches and bunkers and
Oh, wow.
dude, it was like clever.
Not bad.
Like good effort. I was like, good effort. And they
So
had,
you would have given them just a little, well
I was
done.
like, not bad.
Is it like, do you reckon they're just street sweeping? Like,
Yeah, they saw one of the first team. They shot at the first team, and that's where. And my patrol commander was shot. His name is Matlock. He was shot and killed in that opening volley.
oh, far out.
So he's gone down, and then I didn't see that because I was about 20 meters away, but they were around the bend a bit. But I'm like, I just heard it. And I thought it was a mistake. I'm like, that's fucking gunfire. And then I like, fuck, battle, and then ran and jumped into this ditch, which is an aqueduct. And dude, the volume of fire just picked up and up and up. It was just gunfire everywhere.
How long did that last?
It was like the opening couple of minutes of like heavy fire.
Yeah.
Like everyone in there just started shooting. And
gathering themselves as well.
Exactly. And I was like, I stuck my head up And I was just making sure, I like shouted someone to next to me, is there anyone in the corner of our guys? And my mate's like, nah.
What's that mean?
I was making sure the team didn't turn and go into the corner because I was going to shoot in there.
Yeah, okay.
So as soon as I knew that, I just flicked my safety off my grenade launcher and just started fucking shooting.
Grenade launcher?
Just started shooting grenades in there. Just
Wow.
fucking boof, boof. Because
Yeah.
once that goes off, it kind of gets the enemy's head down a bit.
It's entertaining.
So you're trying to like take back the initiative, but you're trying to like get fire in to get them getting their heads down. But that was the opening, like 5 minutes. It was like fucking scary. Yeah.
You were saying something to me that how you actually feel and like your colours change and the adrenaline.
Yeah, it was like because you train with live fire and you're kind of used to that level of intensity. But I remember when I knew it was a battle, like your brain ramps up, so things just move that little bit slower. And then colours looked really vibrant.
Yeah.
Like bright
4K.
greens. Yeah. And then I'd see things like I saw some explosions, but it wasn't that loud. Or I was shooting and my ears weren't ringing. One of my mates is like, fucking the human body is built for combat. That's what happens. He's like this hardcore dude.
Yeah,
I was
wow.
like, fuck, that's the most badass thing I've heard.
That's really bloody interesting. So it's almost like the more extreme the situation, the more high danger you're in.
It's
You actually
like your
become
mind,
calmer.
just this clarity just goes shh, and everything kind of crystal, like you're not even thinking about anything other than just what's right in front of you. It's pretty crazy.
You come back from that battle because you lost your mate that day.
Yeah, so
Like you were very close to Matt, weren't you?
yeah, so I'd worked with him a lot leading into the mission, really good sergeant. And I'm like, I just remember going up, I went up to that team and I could see him wounded and I was like, you kind of know it's bad, but you don't have we'll deal with that in a second because you got so much happening. So you don't have time to absorb it. You're kind of just working, you know it's bad, but you're like, you're working to try and fix. So we tried to evacuate him and we had to pull him right out of that area and get American choppers in to pick him up. That took about 40 minutes. Like we were doing it all under fire.
Yeah.
Guys giving him first aid, trying to return fire. There was a guy next to me that was air traffic control, so he was calling in airstrikes.
Into this sugar
Right in front of
corn.
us, man, like not far away.
So it was like a movie essentially.
And there's a dog. There was the guy next to me, Horse his name was. He had a fucking dog, Risha, and the dog was
like a German Shepherd? Or?
mate, Malamar, and it was trying to get off its lead.
They're
And
those massive
Those
animals.
huge, furry looking.
they're not super huge, but they're scary looking.
Yeah.
Like fast. And that was trying to get off the lead to go into the corn. It was a maniac, mate. It's like a
It was
suicidal.
going to rip shreds.
He was going to rip shreds, and he was going to
Australian
do
Army
it.
has giant wolves that they
Mate.
send. Are they
Werewolves,
meant
mate.
to like rip bits of flesh off you
They're called working dogs, and they can do attack. Yeah, they can do attack.
and they'll kill you?
They can. They're
Wow.
not meant to, but they're fucking vicious.
Fairly
They-
well
yeah.
controlled until it's,
yeah.
under
No,
fire.
this is
sort
a
of
different twist to our normal podcast. For sure.
I'm loving it, to
But
be
my,
honest.
my
It's a bit
heart is
intense,
pumping.
mate. No, it's a bit
But,
intense.
Like, is
thing. Nah,
that
not at all.
like when
I
do you
guess.
come down?
I feel my face getting hot. I'm like, I was right there.
How long does it take for the like endorphin drop and the adrenaline dump and the you realize
It
one of your
was-
best mates has passed away?
So we got through that first, took like an hour. We got everything done, got Matt away, pulled into a compound. And I just remember going like my head had a banging headache. And I remember one of my patrol commanders going, has anyone else got a headache? I'm like, mate, I got the worst fucking headache. And I think it was just like a mental overload, man. It was just so much going on.
Yeah.
But then we'd been awake for like the whole night and the whole morning. And I remember just going, okay, fucking, a couple of guys up on the roof, we'll get our head down quickly. And we were like trying to sleep in the middle of a battle. Like we got like 10 minutes sleep because we knew we were going to be there all day. Yeah, like I remember sleeping, I could hear the gunfire getting closer. I'm like, okay, get up.
So it's not really that sleep. It's that sort of resting your eyes,
Yeah, just like fucking one eye
waiting
open.
for a jolt. Oh, geez.
Meanwhile, me and a 28 are at home contemplating what meme to upload on a story.
probably
and this
awake,
guy's
just in a
fighting for
different
his
slot.
life.
Fighting your own war,
At that point,
online war.
at that point, are you fighting for your country, or is that past and gone? Are you fighting for your
There's
something?
nothing cerebral about it. It's just for your mates. Just you and your mates.
Yeah.
Against the enemy. That's it.
It's that
You don't
visceral
give a fuck about
connection to your
anything else.
brothers.
No one else. Just you and your mates. Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy,
It's pretty
man.
powerful, that bond then.
It's a very powerful bond because they see you, like those guys have seen me at my worst and my best in ways that your own family hasn't seen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you've always got that bond. It's always there. Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm one of those people that sort of, I think I'm just constantly in a state of overwhelm and anxiety and all that sort of stuff. And you go to see a psychologist, and the first thing, I've listened to your book, and you spoke about this neuroscientist.
Yeah, neuroscientist. Yeah,
Brilliant,
mate.
They're really just practical, and this is a matter of fact. This part of your brain does this
Exactly.
This is that
He's
was
like, you're not mad. He just when you're exposed to trauma, this is what happened. Like from an evolutionary perspective, this is why if you encounter extreme threats, this is how your brain will respond to it for a period of time after. You're like, oh fuck, I'm not mad.
yeah, right.
So it's good.
That must have been a bit of a weight off your shoulders hearing that.
No, it was a huge relief because you're not. You're trained. You got this extreme control over your mind, and you contain. You keep it under order. But then after combat, I was having all these symptoms that I didn't have control over. I'm like, fuck, why is this happening? I'd never heard of it. I'd read about it, PTSD and that, but I didn't know the symptoms were actually a form of trauma recovery. And then when I had it explained to me, I'm like, okay. The guy's like, it's fixable. We just do this.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, great.
Like, just divert. My old job was to work in trauma-informed care, working with young people who are in out-of-home care situations,
Yeah, nice.
family
Now
violence
he
stuff.
just looks after me full time.
Carer.
But this really weird crossover, as you were talking in that chapter I was listening to, I'm going way too far into it. We haven't gone into the comedy side of things, but I just found this so fucking fascinating.
Yeah.
We had this bloke come out, and he was alluding to, I reckon I was too young to really fully appreciate what this guy was teaching. He was talking about they worked with returning soldiers with PTSD up in Canberra, and I can't remember his name. I may have come across him at some point, but they used that practice, that pretty much what you were talking about before, to go alongside trauma-informed care, working with young people. So they called it a coaching model, which is to just acknowledge the trauma, but then here are the practical steps, as you were saying, to come out of it.
Dude, I do talks to companies. I'm like, this, because I talk about that, I'm like, this experience or trauma recovery is not unique to soldiers. It can be car accident victims, sexual assault. Like, there's all sorts of things that can trigger the same mental response. So the point is I'm like, there's a way to deal with it. It's a normal response, and you've got to be able to play hurt. You've got to be able to keep going when you've suffered these injuries. It's like, it's just a part of it. And if you can do it once, you can do it many times over.
Yeah, bloody hell. Play hurt. I'll take that one.
Play hurt, baby. Do it.
I've just had a text message over here from someone who's pretty keen to meet you. Maybe we put a pause on this, but return to it. Winnie Blues, are you familiar with her work?
I'm about to be. I mean.
Well, she's now very familiar with yours.
Queen of memes. She's up in Sydney. She deserted Melbourne and she's gone to Sydney for a bit of sun.
No way.
But she does this segment called Confessions every week, and she's sort of joined us as almost like a pseudo rolling third host. We did something a couple of days ago where we went, let's do a joint confessions and talk about those moments where you'd realised, well, I'm in a quarter-life crisis here. What the fuck am I doing with myself? So she put it out to her fans last night or the night before or whatever it was. And some of the stuff that came back was really good. But Winnie, I think she works in early childhood education stuff, so she doesn't got much time to jump on the air, but she does want to jump on. Hey, do we have her there?
I'm here. Hello, everyone.
How you going?
Winnie Blues. How are we?
I'm good. I've just run out from work. I've got 10 minutes to smash out some confessions with you.
So I'm not sure if you can see us, but we've got a decorated war veteran here, Mark
Pretty
Wales.
much just a hero.
Hero.
Lovely to meet you.
Yes, Ricky's here too, and it's a very serious podcast. So I hope what you brought today reflects the attitude in the room. I know we ran a joint confessions a couple of days ago, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
So
they were pretty crazy.
Are you gonna? How'd they go?
Well, okay, so it started off with some missing butt plug action. That's pretty common. And there was a lot of that, actually. And then we moved on to some unhinged Rev stories, another popular.
Yes, of course.
But then it ended pretty wholesome, actually. We got some birthday money sent to someone and some litigation advice.
Yeah, we were just talking. Win and I were talking earlier, because we were talking off air as well. Confessions sort of started with these really dirty, sort of filthy confessions as
people getting something off their chest. It was therapy, wasn't it?
But now it's turned into this bloody wholesome community. The diversity of, let's use the word diversity, of your audience has completely changed. Where, as you were saying last night, someone pops up and just gives someone else legal advice for free. How'd that go down?
You'll hear like the most horrible thing you've ever heard in your entire fucking life.
Oh, wow.
And then the next is so heartwarming it brings tears to your eyes. So it's just a really funny page, and it brings so much fun and love to everyone.
It's a ripper. What happened with the gift cards? You were sort of teasing at that. It was
This one was actually one of my favourite moments. A single mum reached out saying she was really struggling, and people started emailing gift cards. I think I got close to 25 gift cards to help her out.
how good.
That's cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Is that a confession?
Yeah,
or
no,
just
it was really great.
Yeah.
Now, I know you don't have much time here, so how do you want to attack these? Are you going to read them out, or how do you want to go about this?
So I've actually sent you some of my favourite ones from last night just for Mark to read out loud.
Oh, bit of pressure.
Oh, hello.
Hey, he's only just bloody put the gun down and now he has to read out some confessions. My boy.
This is the real battle right here.
Because we've both sort of had a listen to some Mark on some podcasts and some audio books, and they're very serious stories. So I thought, when you gave this idea, maybe you could perhaps read them out just down the barrel there.
I'm game. Let's do it.
As if they were, those sorts of stories. I've got one here.
So these are just from random people who are making confessions.
Random confessions. But no laughing at them.
Yeah.
These are
no
people
judgment.
opening
No
up.
judgment.
Let's see if you can keep a straight face.
No judgment. Title. Went to Revolver with a few mates around 7 years ago. Three of us got on a taxi back to Kick-Ons. Two of us went into Kick-Ons. A few hours passed and I didn't think anything of it. Thought the third friend might have gone to a spare bed. Fast forward a few more hours and the police knock on my front door. We're all still awake and my third friend is in handcuffs. He's walked into a different house and gone straight to the bedroom of a widowed old lady and he went to sleep. She woke up from him snoring and then she opened the door and screamed. He was that cooked he asked for a phone charge. Police came in and went through his phone and there was text from me saying, "Where are you?"
Oh, that was good. Got him off the hook.
He got let off with a warning, but he had guns pulled on him.
Oh, my God.
Unbelievable. That's a hot start. You did break. So, Win, bloody hell. Who are these people?
I did go into a wrong house dressed as Superman after a big night.
Really?
With
No
the
way.
boys. Yeah, 'cause it was in like an apartment complex and I was staying in my mate's house and his front door was locked, so I went round the side to another door and a family sleeping on their couch the next morning.
No.
Dressed as Superman.
Really?
It happens, mate. It happens.
Oh,
Did you have to method act and just
How
jump up
good.
and go, nothing to see here? Superman's here to save the day.
Mate, big mission. Had to have a rest.
Yeah. The thing, I mean, we were talking about the diversity of Winnie's audience. So you go from something like that to it's a very well written story to, I mean, when he sent these to me, so I didn't pick him. So just the thing in the white there.
Story. Here we go.
Oh, here we go.
Confessions.
Here we go.
Confess to your sins, Mum went, all right, I like the feeling of farting in the bath and rolling up between my flaps.
And what?
And rolling it up between my flaps.
Oh, I don't know what that trick is. I've tried this a lot as a kid. I haven't tried that
How do you
one.
do that?
There's something wrong with you, Win.
No comment.
I actually like this one. This is just simple and effective again.
My ex used to piss into a 20-litre water can in his room. That's old school. I tried to be supportive. What the fuck is wrong with me?
Can I have a crack?
You want to have a go?
Yeah, I want to have a
Let me
crack.
pick one for Rick.
That's just laziness, the old
This is just-
20-litre
Yeah,
can.
what's
So
I wonder
good.
if they're still together. A jerry can.
This is always a good for you. I think, hold on, before we go to Rick, it's a nice long story.
Oh, yeah.
And if you swipe
Your
after
story
it,
time voice on.
yeah,
Here we
and if
go,
you swipe to
story
the next bit, there's an extra.
We're on day 2 at a work Christmas party, brackets, I was the boss. And one of the younger boys put a bottle cap in my cruiser and challenged me to a skull off. Oh. I deleted the cruiser and the cap, felt it cut my neck on the way down. I was pissed as he did it, took the joke too far. Continued the bender thinking I was going to die despite my nurse sister telling me to go to hospital. Took myself to hospital the next day and they found it on x-ray. I'm like, righto, get it out. And they told me it's probably best to let it pass through since it's halfway through my system anyway and having no issues on its journey to the unknown. I'm thinking, for fuck's sake. 5 days later, the thing flies out, cutting my ass on the way out, and the toilet bowl filled with shit and blood.
Oh, God. There you go.
Winnie, this is a war hero.
Winnie, you just
What have
filthy.
we done to him?
What is wrong with you?
I can relate to this. You got to swallow your mission papers or something to come out 2 weeks later. Wish I kept the bottle cap. Fuck, it was a relief when it came out. Every shit leading up to that point, I'd be having panic attacks thinking this is going to be the one. The young fella lost his job after that and we ran out of work.
Should
Would
swap.
you dig it out and keep
Can you
it?
see it?
Is that it?
Yeah, that's the one. There's an X-ray there.
Oh, look at it folded in half. Oh, man.
Yeah.
And it's sideways too. You know you're going to have trouble getting
Brutal.
That was brilliant. Your storytelling voice is second to none.
You could do a meditation tape with Mark Wells, SAS Commander. Go to sleep, young boy.
I want one for Rick here. Now, hey, Win, before I pick one, do any come to mind that I haven't read out?
Let me have a squiz at what I've sent you.
I love that you're at the back of work right now doing this.
I am. I'm hiding.
Hey, Win, do you miss Melbourne at all?
Yeah. I miss Melbourne a lot, but I'll be back in a bit.
Yeah, no, you got
coming
the
up.
good weather, though. You're not missing out on much. It's still 4 seasons.
Simple and effective.
Yeah, and my liver's way better. Everything's healthier.
I
since
know,
moving.
totally.
I miss
Mark's
it
got another
so
one.
much.
Oh, yeah, no, this is good. All right. When I was a beautician, I suffered really bad hay fever from all the scents of products. One day I had the most hectic runny nose in the middle of a facial massage and it dripped on this high-end client's face, so I rubbed it in pretending it was just another serum.
All right, I've got one more before I head off.
Which one do you want Rick to go with?
Gross.
I'm requesting the Allen's mixed lolly bag one.
Alan's mixed lolly bag.
God, that's a cracker, that one.
That
The
is
goop on the
gross.
forehead and then rub it in.
Rick, over to you.
Oh, here we go. All right, drum roll. Winnie, I've never read one of these, so we'll see. All right, here we go.
Let's do it.
Was drinking with a mate. We're both gay. At his place, and there was a bag of party mix on the table. After a few drinks, he randomly asked if he could stick the lollies up my ass and then
As you do.
proceed to eat them out. I said, fuck it, sure. I didn't hate it, and I wasn't mad about it. Discovered a while later, he didn't quite retrieve them all. That was an interesting day. Well, are we going to get sponsored by Allen's now?
For sure. We deserve it.
Send the check out.
Imagine that a couple of days later, a reg frob jumps out of your ass.
I've completely lost my composure here. Mark, what do I do to bring it back under pressure
Mate,
like this?
There's nothing you can do after that. It's over.
You reckon we got a few more, Winnie, or do you need to get back to work?
I need to get back, but now I'm on a roll. There's one particular one I'm trying to find. Hold on.
So for the listeners at home, Winnie's actually just sending them through on the text as we go.
Ledge, Winnie. Hey, Wynn's coming in for the Halloween extravaganza. We are going to get dressed up for that day, aren't we? What day is Halloween?
I've got to also just give a little something at home. The only person who can, we've got these beers, right?
You got a low
And
tea, fucking
no, they're very high tea beers, but they require a bottle opener.
And we've got city hands, and we need to go to our army, big soldier boy.
Mark's the only one that can open them.
I play a piano, mate. Where's my keys?
I have just sent one of my favorite ones ever through, and I hope you guys really enjoy it.
Oh, shit. There you go. You can take the wheel
I
there.
like Ricky's story voice. I'll get a bit of that.
I think he really method acted.
No, he
I know
does.
how that. Don't worry, I've been. Here we go.
All right.
Yeah.
Had a bender with a girl I was seeing at the time. We'd both taken a lot of ecstasy and I'd also taken a couple of Viagra. Mid-shag, I start hallucinating and her face warps into that of a Korean bloke I was working with at the time. He called himself Handsome Boy Steve. I start freaking out because I'm fucking Handsome Boy Steve. She starts freaking out because I'm wigging out at the end of her bed while calling her Steve. She eventually locks me in the back room of her house while I sat there naked, hallucinating with a bone. Mate.
So if anyone just came halfway through that story, that was Mark's story.
I wonder if anyone did come halfway through that story.
Hey, Winnie, thank you for this week's edition.
No, thank you for having me. That was so much fun.
You've been brilliant.
See you, mate.
You guys are the best. All
You're
right.
going to have
Catch
to
you
come
later.
back and do it.
Bye.
Hey, we're going up to, we're going to announce that later on.
Have you got any, before you go, have you got any questions for big soldier boy Mark Wales?
Yeah.
I think I might need to employ him on Confessions.
Oh, there you go.
I think
I'm
he's going
looking
to have
for
to be
a-
my new reader.
Maybe you could have a little segment called The Top Secret File with Mark Wales.
You're still method acting
There
from
we
the
go.
Alan's Lollies guy.
I know.
I think, mate, you might be onto something there. Maybe there's a Confessions audiobook.
Sponsored by Allen's.
Yeah. ASMR. Fully. Well, I'll see you for a few cheekies next week, yeah?
Absolutely. Well,
Thanks, Winnie.
Thank you very
See
much.
you, mate.
See you guys.
You know, she'd never done a podcast, never done that. Like, it's all been through the Instagram. It's but it's been. Well, she's got to be doing this for 10 years. Had her Instagram shut down that many times because of the Alan's Lolly style.
Start and reset
Yeah.
that many times.
She would be like her brand recognition of Winnie Blues, this mysterious
Get
enigma.
back up there though.
Yeah, she'll get shut down and then just text out the internet and go, "Hey, it happened again," and
Get on
everyone
board.
just gets behind her and she's got a real loyal following. But I think the evolution into podcasting is inevitable for Win.
Good on it.
At least an audio co-author. I'm staring at you with a cheeky
Hello.
look.
Hey, Mark, just off that. So we are in a crazy time in the world at the moment, and that's kind of the relevance of why me and 28 wanted you in here. Is we're in the year 2024. I believe it is so. Anyway, but the Middle East is crazy. Just a dummy's guide for what is going on at the moment in Israel, Lebanon, Palestine, and how lately, I mean, it's all over our papers. It's pretty full on. But what could be the outcome of this?
I'll try and do this in like 1 minute. The post-World War II international order is being challenged by China, Russia, Iran, North Korea. They're basically
all
saying
allies?
they're all in a supporting coalition now. In a way that they weren't a while ago. They weren't as organised, but they're now a formal alliance. So what you're seeing is like Ukraine's an example. Like it's a breakdown in these norms that we'd set after World War II. So if it's heading towards something really, possibly something really dangerous, which is trying to upend the Western-led international order. And so all these like hotspots that are coming up around the world, this could be a really dangerous period for human history.
Really?
Yeah.
So without a doubt, because you're pretty, for anyone who doesn't know, he's just joining Mark, he's SAS, but he's got Intel ties right up to the top.
It was a history undergrad though. So it's like you watch the world, how it looked before World War II, and it was similar. It's like fractured, big coalitions, and then ended up being a military challenge. So it's like,
What, World War III could happen.
you heard it here first on the
But staring down the camera.
No. It's like still remote, but it's dangerous. It's more dangerous than it's been since the end of World War II.
I mean, even the last fortnight, what's happening over in Lebanon has been the
I thought you meant
biggest.
the game there for a minute. The last fortnight was shit. I had got the new patch.
Haney wasn't great in the grand final. No, but just watching what's happening in Lebanon now has probably
it's
been one
horrible.
of the bigger escalations
Mate,
I've seen.
I did a few weeks there in 2008 when Hezbollah had taken the city over, and it's a crazy place. And
You went
Hezbollah's
solo
like,
there, didn't you?
it was me and a couple of other embassy staff and one other military guy. So it was pretty loose, but I saw just how integrated Hezbollah is over there. They're like a huge part of the culture. So it's like, it's going to be an interesting
And they're
few weeks.
Iranian backed.
Iranian backed. Yeah.
And Iran has a lot of money.
Iran's got a lot of money, a lot of weapons.
So they're a different enemy.
Yeah, they're like trying to, it's all to apply pressure against Israel and the US.
Yeah, okay.
So it's like, it's obviously a complicated region, but yeah.
So if just on that, I've been reading a bit on it because I do find it quite interesting because it is relevant to us. As much as we love having crack and a beer, the world is about to
Where's he
end.
going?
But what I'm saying is that the problem is Iran push it so far or Israel pushes it so far that the US has to jump in, then it's kicks.
Yeah, it could be. That could be it. Like, they could fight Iran. But the bigger one is, like, Australia. If we lose the Pacific, so if we lose Taiwan or the Pacific third island chain, we could be cut off as a country. Our economy might go backwards. So this stuff could directly affect us. It's possible, but we'll see.
All right. Well, I know me and 28 talked about it last night, but maybe we should start getting our blueprints for a bunker room survival build.
I was going to ask, is that probably the recommendation now? Bunkers and
I think you just ramp up the podcast, put it in a bunker and just run the resistance out of that.
If you were to have a bunker, and what would you have in it?
Lots of. Well, you need a good bar. That's like the start point.
A
Dartboard, bar, well-stocked fridge, mate. You start with that and then you expand out from there.
KO if it's all still happening out there.
I want to know what the 28 has in his bunker room. Whether it's zombies or it's the World War III, what do you got in there, mate?
Probably a KO connection. Those old, there might be, an L-shaped
You're definitely
sofa.
not getting SEN AM shitty reception down there.
That could really kill me if we don't have that sort of thing. But, probably the whole collection of Matchbox 20 albums dating back to two do they have?
Bit of Creed.
As we touched on.
I'd actually go as far to say I'd have like a dartboard, but maybe like a smoke machine.
Yeah.
Just because, like, when your mates come over to your little bunker, you put the smoke machine there and it feels like a movie.
Dress it up a bit.
You got your bandanas on and you're like, yo, man, it's your fucking shot. You know,
We could be under attack.
look, I'm a movie director. It feels like a scene in a movie. If you're going to fucking die, you might as well make it be dramatic. You know? At least it looks good.
And you need the Vietnam era playlist, like long tall, all that cool old music.
You mean Nickelback, yeah?
Nickelback.
We don't know what you're talking about. It's either Nickelback or it's Creed, brother.
A little bit
With
of Fortunate
arms
Son.
wide open, under the sunlight.
Oh, we're back on Creed.
Welcome to this place. I'll show you everything. It's got such a good twang. You know, he rolls the R's.
Civilization was Creed.
You know they're back.
Yeah,
They're on tour.
I've heard that.
I dare say if they had
Christian
tickets,
boys.
I'd be going, bro.
100%. They were
Christian
playing in
rock.
Oasis is coming here.
Well, I think they've all sold out of tickets. We're going to get a hold of them.
They're going to have another blow up, those two brothers. I doubt there's 50-50.
Is anyone running a market on that? Like, at what point do they blow up before, on stage?
And his first performances kind of sucked. You hear he copping a lot of shit for it on.
Oh, really?
Oh, mate. He copped a lot of shit. They did one rehearsal or something, but everyone was like, that was shit, Liam.
Well, this is good because that's building the tension. It might be
Give me
angst.
Creed.
Liam. Who's going to break first?
No, I know.
Well, geez, we covered the important stuff there, didn't we? The bunkers.
Well, I know, me and 28 like to have our proverbial tinfoil hats on. And I freaking love it. If I could have it on permanently and not be brigaded by society, I would wear it. What is the go with the UFOs? Do you have an opinion on it? And is it called UAPs now?
That's a new term.
It's happening a lot. It's almost like the Pentagon's come out, they said it's real. There's this slow push and evaporation in the media that let's settle the humanity into starting to feel like it's not nonsense. Do you know what I mean? This agenda?
I thought this was a joke for the longest time. And then the New York Times did an article on it in 2017. I was like, what is this? And then I looked at the because I was cleared to high levels of clearance, right? And you're hearing these guys.
When you say that, is it like how many your lapel got you into like 20 doors?
There's like secret, top secret, and then there's all these compartments in each one. And there's all these other Yanks have all these other there's all buckets of secrets within secrets. But there was one they had in 2004 off the coast of the US where multiple radar platforms are picking up these objects. They're real objects. They vector fighters onto them to go and look at them. So multiple platforms, they all saw this same object.
They sent jets on them.
Jets. It was like a 10-meter long object. It looked like a Tic Tac, and had no flight surfaces. It was moving around in ways that were fucking beyond our understanding of physics.
And forth,
so these are the best trained pilots in the world that saw this with their own eyes. All the radars picked it up. So they're saying like, there's something there. We don't know what it is.
But then you've had that. Is it the aeroplane pilot I saw on Joe Rogan. What's his name?
Fravor.
Fravor.
That was one of the guys that saw it. He was a Top Gun pilot.
That I've seen the vision. Like there's vision. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen this.
Oh,
I'm
mate,
being a bit
there's
silent
like
here.
Tic Tac things moving around like this,
There's
and
multiple.
then disappearing. Yeah, it's huge, and it's happening at a point where it's like I'd say there's 5 or 6 videos out now that the Pentagon's released. They don't have an answer.
The real footage, yeah.
So begs the question: are they human, in your opinion, or are they something else?
So they're like, it could be American tech. Well, the people that reviewed it are like, it's not American tech that they know of. It's not foreign tech. So
China?
what's the third option? Well, they've been seeing them for like 50, 60 years.
Oh, wow.
That's the,
So
the
they
big
don't-
question. In my mind, I'm going,
What is
okay,
it?
is it just foreign stuff?
What is it?
Oh, yeah, I'm just
I mean,
a
it could
simple
be-
man that likes a bit of Creed, all right? You're right.
I did until about 5 minutes ago. Now I'm right down this rabbit hole.
Mate, this is an interesting. Oh, it's an interesting one. I keep an eye on it, but they're doing a congressional hearing on it on
Really?
the 13th of November.
Okay.
They basically bring in these witnesses under oath and just go, "What have you seen?"
Oh.
And they say some intense stuff, mate. And some of them are cleared to the highest levels. Like,
right.
But the problem is, I think, and I'm with most people, I want them to be true.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
There's
don't want them
bias,
to be China just with some killer fucking technology. Fuck that. I want aliens. And I actually get a little bit jelly of thinking, because I love the UFO. I love paranormal. Can we do a paranormal episode? I've got some ghost
Let's
stories. So, but I just I get a little bit jelly of the fact that I'll probably pass away. I'm jealous of the people in the generations ahead of us that get to have contact with aliens.
Yeah, I'd be spewing if it was just China throwing some Tic Tacs out into the sky.
Then
Imagine.
we're in trouble.
What a moment.
Yeah.
We don't want
So,
that.
what do you think they are? Just what do you think they are, in your honest opinion?
I've only heard a few theories, right? They're like, is this like future humans? Is it from another planet? They're like, or is it something that can move between different kind of realities or parallel realities? Like,
If they are
Their
future humans,
theories
can you
are
ask them
thrown
if
around.
North win a premiership?
where do we put our
Please, if you
money?
can get that out of them that'd be fun. in the next
Give us
couple
hope.
of years.
Give us hope.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
That's what they're theories I've read, but again, they're just theories. So I
No,
don't know.
you've told me your theory. I want you to
you
say.
don't have to
No,
say-
he's
All right,
getting
I'm being careful.
I got on it. So we had a couple of beers.
Got clearance. It can't
few
be, buddy.
weeks
They might
ago.
just
I
storm
think
the door down.
Mark told me some top secret stuff. So now I just want you to spill your guts. You're halfway there. You've had a couple of tinnies. What are the UFOs, and what is your opinion on them?
It could be something from another reality that you can't see or interact with. And interdimensional is what they keep saying.
The way he described it to me is that they're possible that it's more realistic that the unknown could be a UFO that is ghosting through other parallel worlds and drifting into our vision and then sinking back into them like it's the future.
My brain, maybe it looks like I'm having really deep thoughts. My brain's just going, sick.
It's wild, but we really don't know anything, and it's freaky, and the world is crazy.
And there's
at the
that
moment.
part of everyone's brain, I think, like we were alluding to before, that wants to, there has to be this belief that there has to be something else, someone else.
The weird thing is there's this huge correlation between sightings and nuclear either energy or weapons.
Right.
So they're seen around nuclear energy and weapons and water.
Okay.
And that's a measurable scientific
Because
thing.
do you think they may be in the ocean?
Oh,
Let's be honest.
I think this is more around.
Top secret files.
You're
our war
There are two
correspondent.
major things that can be used for weapons and threats. And
could be, mate.
I'm just talking absolute rubbish trying to just roll you in here. What the fuck do I know?
They always see them over water. It's weird because all the Navy carrier groups that deploy encounter heaps of them. And they don't know what the fuck they are. And they see them going in and out of water. So, yeah.
Okay, from what you know, you can massage around this. Do you think they've got a crashed one somewhere on Earth and they're trying to reverse engineer it to try and get the tech out of it?
So there's an investigative journalist I know who's on this. He's been on it for years. He's a really credible guy. And I met him in a pub in Exeter. I'm like,
Where's Exeter?
It's in country New South Wales.
Oh, well.
And I walked in there. It was like,
UFO specialists, apparently.
it was like an episode from The Matrix because he was in this pub and it was like this old pub and I walked in and there was just this old dude standing by the bar who I think was Agent Smith, and then my mate was up the back of the room and I walked down. I'm like, who are you speaking to in the US? Like, what have you found out? And he's like, found out a lot of really interesting shit from really high level sources. But he goes, I know for certain they have a reverse engineering program on non-human technology.
Really?
And I'm like, what have you seen that makes you know that's true? And he explained a few things that about people he'd spoken to that have seen it firsthand. I'm like, it's not enough. You're going to have to get them to provide evidence. Otherwise, people just go, well, it's not true. But he's pretty confident. He's like, yeah, so we'll see how it unfolds, mate. Congressional hearings.
Talk about a quarter life crisis. If this here turns out to be true, I think we're all going to be having one pretty quick.
So
It's
what
an
do we have to
interesting
worry
one.
about? World War III or aliens, bro?
I'll go back and forth, man. I'm like, is this bullshit or not? And then I'll see a few things. I'm like, I don't know about this.
It's chicken and egg,
Yeah.
really. Which one's going to
Hey,
come
boys,
first?
Can I throw on my sunnies for a second?
I don't know why you had to turn them
I-
off, to be
I
honest.
have a serious question here for humanity.
You're about to wipe our memories with a little
All right,
stick.
Mark, let's dim the lights here. Aliens, humans get in contact with aliens, we start having conversations or whatever, we're face to face with each other. How long does it take for a human to have sex with one?
If they meet some of my mates, mate, they'll be pregnant before they even land.
Mate, us humans are so weird and kinky that I reckon it's a couple of days. A couple of days till we root of one.
And I reckon they'd have an OnlyFans account within 20 minutes.
They'd be banking it in,
Captain
mate.
Kirk was onto it. He was onto him straight away. Back in Star Trek.
Yeah, shit. Wasn't he doing this fucking? Wow, two in the pin.
You do that, yeah. Unbelievable stuff.
Well,
Jesus, where do you go from there?
I don't know, mate.
Anywhere you
Yeah.
want.
Mad, isn't it?
Fucking fascinating.
It's crazy stuff, yeah.
So is there anything else you got for us top secret?
No, that's the best stuff.
As we're talking about stuff that
Mind blown.
mind-blowing stuff,
Blown.
I'm thinking if this is the last time that we do this, I'd be bitterly disappointed. Can I pitch a job to you? I'm not sure if it's paid or anything.
Mate, I'm keen.
Have we got? Oh, I love
What do you
this.
A war correspondent.
Oh, we do.
I'm down for it. Although probably I'd just have a green screen in my background. I'm in Beirut, fucking getting blown up.
Oh, can we do? So you're down.
I have a fan in front of me. Mate, I'll do it. Whatever you want.
Yes, you do.
Yeah,
Oh
I'm
my
in.
God.
Did you ever see that CNN guy who was, he was out in the floods and there was someone else had
Leaning
a.
into it.
Yeah.
That'll be me, mate.
Yeah.
Someone's setting off
So
crackers
now
behind me.
the quarter life crisis has expanded with a war correspondent.
staffer.
I mean, we're going to need one. The world's crazy and fucked up. So,
I think we're out at comedy podcast and we're into well, I don't know where this takes
but
us.
this is where we're willing to go on the 28. We got a couple of giggles. We got the giggles, but we also got the deeper meaningfuls and the actual eye-opening stories from the man of steel himself, Mark. Oh, my hand hurts.
That
after
would've
hitting
hurt,
you,
mate. I don't know
mate.
why you actually did
I'm
that.
surprised it didn't go ding. You know what I mean? Like,
Rich, just for the listeners, he's just tried to just whack Mark on the
also-
trap there, and it's just exploded his arm.
I know, but you've also, good understanding of podcasts. You to tell them. But Mark has also released 2 books. He's got his bio called Survivor, willingly after he won Survivor as well. After
You won it. We haven't even
It was
touched on
actually
that.
before I won it, and then went on a second time. Then I won.
when you won the war and then you won Survivor.
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
Oh, we kind of lost. but
How's
that's all right.
that though? So I didn't realise that because I'm listening to that book at the moment. I told you, I don't know if I've said that on camera yet, but I was so bloody hyped / okay, just calm yourself down, James. And saunas and ice baths are my thing. So I thought last night I'll listen to your book. I'll have a sauna and 20 minutes. Rick,
Get the sweat on.
Yeah. So I just lost track of time. I was in the sauna for an hour and a half. And so I reckon I woke up to a missed call from Rick this morning. I'd slept in till 11. We've come on at 2 in the afternoon. Oh, what's going on? I've got stuff in my eyes. Oh, holy shit. It was just, I was so just into this book. It's brilliant.
It's a ripper.
I don't think I could write that again because I was in a certain frame of mind where I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to put it all in here and go out on a bit of a limb. Because I talked about some other, like growing up personal stuff that you wouldn't share normally, which I think makes it more relatable. So
That was the stuff that I was really connected to.
like one of the stories, you know which one I like.
No.
No,
Shall
you
we
do.
go there?
No. Well, Mo, I don't know where did you lose your virginity, 28?
I think
No one ever forgets it.
With my current partner.
No, what time?
What, didn't you?
What was the location? That's all we're asking.
I can't remember the location, but I do remember one key thing about it was it had background noise, and the movie Chopper was a favourite of mine. So I put a VHS of Chopper on.
Romantic.
Neville Bartos. I'm flying,
Trying to
baby.
fumble your way through everything that's going on, and you can hear, "Have a fucking look at me, I'm flying." But what about you?
Well, mine was in Lawn on the beach at 3 a.m.
That's not bad.
Well, Lawn's a great holiday spot. It's like where you want a holiday house.
Respectable. Sandy
and
outing.
now we go to Mark.
I was 21 and I was in
Come on,
ages.
Come on,
No
people have
ages.
your book, mate.
I was in Perth. I was a young man, probably 18 or so, and may have found my way into a place of ill repute in North Perth.
bordello.
A bordello. Of sorts.
Just knocked it on the head. I respect that.
Warwick Capper is turning in his grave, and he's still alive.
Oh, we need to fast track this adulthood thing. We're just gonna go through it.
It's all good, mate.
Brilliant.
Well, thank you for coming on. But
Really
we also
appreciate
have one bit of news for all you peeps back home.
We've been working on something, Rick and I. We have a big appreciation for Karl Stefanovic and Sarah Arbo on the Today Show.
Channel 9, yeah?
Yes.
The guy off his chops at Logies?
Yes,
Yeah, that guy.
a real deep connection
Yeah.
since that moment with Karl. I'm looking at you, Karl. So we decided we're going to just grab a car and we're going to drive up to Sydney and we're just going to crash the set. We're going. Are you aware of this?
First I've heard of this.
So I just decided yesterday that we're gonna go up to Sydney and we're gonna drive through Canberra. We might drop in on my good mate Josh Bruce, former Western Bulldog, now living in Canberra.
My hands up.
Yeah,
Can we go past the dog on the tucker box, bro?
Yes, please.
Oh,
Yes,
frick yes, I've
please.
always wanted to go. So we're going on a road trip to Sydney to visit Karl Stefanovic and be live on TV.
This is next Monday. So
Not
we'll
just
be
with the 28, with Karl.
with Karl, with Sarah Arbo. We're going to be on. It's Monday. This coming Monday, we'll be there. So we're
leaving this. Oh,
we're
mate,
driving-
you're going to give me a bit of time. I'm going to get me perm going, bro. Fuck, I'm going to
you
get in the
guys are dialed
solid.
in
we
already.
are going. So we're
Mate, my melatonin won't even kick in by then, bro.
mine
Why am I
kicked in?
saying bar?
But this is going to be epic. We're going to film the whole thing. We'll vlog it. We'll do some podcasts along the way.
We're doing a podcast in the car, which is going to be a beautiful little journey, a little roadie.
We might call Mark along the way. I was just thinking this before.
Oh,
I'll
because
be
we're
in
going to need our
Iran,
war
dialing
update.
in.
Because
Yeah.
more than likely,
I'll be
the
on
world's
ground
falling apart.
Yeah, I'll be on the ground in Tehran by then.
So you'll have the green screen by then, is what I'm saying.
Very dramatic again.
Yeah, this is happening. So we'll be vlogging the whole thing. Rick's on. I've been calling it vlogging.
Yeah, no, it's not vlogging, bro. It's not a V8. It's called vlogs. This guy's like, we should do a vlog. It's like, what rock have you been living under, bro?
So we'll be doing a vlog all the way to
But
Sydney.
we're going to call Winnie on the way up.
We're going to
do a vlog in the car. We're going to do a potty in the car. You're not going to miss a beat. And then we're going to drop in a bloody Brucey's house.
Yeah, and then we'll just head up to Sydney and just see what's going on at
Kick to
today.
kick with Josh Bruce. I've never kicked a footy with
A
AFL.
little bit. Well, he knows what it's like with me, and they don't generally hit a target, so we'll have some fun.
One question.
Yeah.
It's just one rule, actually.
Let's
It's
go.
either two choices. It's Nickelback or Creed, mate.
Oh, instant reaction. It's Creed.
Hey, let's sign it off properly. See you next week with arms wide open under the starlight. Welcome to this place. I'll show you everything.
Subscribe on Spotify. Get us up the charts again. Jump on YouTube. Subscribe there.
Yeah,
get on
just
Apple
do the whole
Podcast.
lot. The burger with the lot.
Subscribe. Auto downloads. We need to get past Cole and Jackie O again. We'll see you next week.
Come on,
Thanks to Mark
Malakas.
Wells for
Come
joining
on,
us.
you
Thanks to Winnie
Malakas.
Blues. It's been
Get
a
in there,
cracker.
you dogs.
Thanks,
Let's go.
guys.
Hope you get the lot, you dog. Get back on protecting your mate.
Might just join you by the bed there, mate. What's going on? Waiting for a mate. That way your car's all smashed up.
Can't wait for some of these. Man, this is going to be good, eh?